We've marked May Day since the beginning of the 20th century, but observing Workers' Day by all South Africans and as a holiday is as young as South Africa's democracy. Nthakoana Ngatane looks at how segregation found its way to this all-important day.
An 8-hour day is not just a norm today, but a requirement. But it hasn't always been like this. And for South Africa's young democracy, celebrating this day that made this possible wasn't always allowed. In the 1800s, the Federation of Organized Trade and Labor Unions in the United States of America and Canada resolved that 8 hours should constitute a legal day's labor beginning on 1 May 1886. The first recorded celebration of May Day in South Africa was reported to have taken place in 1895, but African workers were not part of it. So in 1928, thousands of African workers organized their own May Day march that dwarfed the small Labour Party's gathering of white workers only. On May Day in 1950, when the Communist Party of South Africa called for a strike to protest the Suppression of Communism Act, 18 people were killed across Soweto. And the African National Congress took over the planning for the day, then called Day of Mourning for those who died in the May Day strike. In 1985, 33 unions met at the University of Natal, and the Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU, was officially established on 1 December 1985.
The struggle of workers on the shop floor cannot be separated from the wider political struggle for liberation in this country.
On the 100th anniversary of May Day in 1986, COSATU demanded that May Day be recognized as a public holiday in South Africa and called for a stay away.
And May Day was won in 1986 because in spite of the opposition of the government and in spite of the opposition of employers, we took May Day. More than 3 million workers participated in the stay away that was spearheaded by COSATU.
Over the years, South Africa's workers declared the day their public holiday and stayed away from work. At the height of tensions leading to the first democratic elections, Nelson Mandela addressed May Day celebrations in Durban in 1991.
I have often said that the regime takes measures to protect white people in one way and black people not at all.
A year after the 1994 elections, South Africa declared May Day a public holiday for the first time in 1995.
Viva Mativa, viva! Viva Mativa, viva!
President Mandela addressed the celebrations for the last time before he stepped down in 1998. His successor would continue the tradition as part of recognition of the role played by trade unions, the Communist Party and other labor movements in the struggle against apartheid.
All of us agree that too many of our people are unemployed, that too many of our people need to get jobs.
President Kgalema Motlante's May Day coincided with the election of his successor, President Jacob Zuma, who addressed May Day 2009 as president-elect.
This is what makes the workers in this country to be very enthusiastic on the issues that relates to governance and the politics of the country.
In 2017, May Day highlighted workers' power in the politics of the country and became a catalyst in the changing of the guard at Luthuli House and the Union buildings. This year, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa will address May Day as the President of the Republic. He has already weighed in on the issue of the minimum wage.
20 rand an hour asiyona living wage. We want our people to earn more money. We are called a middle income country, and we want our people to earn much higher. What we needed to do was to balance between those people who are earning very little today.
Nthakoana Ngatane, SABC News, Johannesburg.